Hi, I am Alistair Saunders and I want to show you a 5-minute video based on a presentation that I gave in St Mary's Church, Barnes, London, and pictured here. The presentation and associated exhibition of photographic prints formed part of the 2016 national celebrations to mark the tercentenary of the birth, 300 years ago in 1716, of Lancelot Capability Brown, England's greatest landscape gardener. This is the poster that was used to advertise the presentation. The centre picture features Blemmin, located just north of Oxford. Blemmin is among the most visited sites in England and one where Brown reworked the grounds, raising the water level below the bridge. Clockwise from top left, in the four corners of the oval overlay, are Brown and the churches where he was baptised, Kirkharle in Northumberland, married, Stowe in Buckinghamshire, and buried, Fenstanton in Cambridgeshire. This portrait of Brown hangs in the Pagoda Room at Burghley House in Northamptonshire. The original is in the National Portrait Gallery. Brown, when asked what he thought of a stately property, would exclaim, "Well, sir, your property has great capabilities." He said this many times to many people and thus became known as Capability Brown. Brown came south from Kirkharle to Stowe in 1741, where he stayed for some 10 years, learning from the likes of Charles Bridgeman, James Gibbs, William Kent, and John Vanbrugh while working for Lord Cobham. He lived with his growing family in the West Boycott Pavilion, shown at the centre of the horizon in this picture. At the age of 35, and with Cobham's patronage, he moved with his family to establish his own business at Hammersmith in London. Brown and others like him worked the land with man and horsepower, using buckets and spades. Before steam, electricity, and the internal combustion engine had been invented, and moving, as in this example, mature trees with the balance men maintaining the horizontal aspect of the tree in motion. Croom Court in Worcestershire was Brown's first major independent commission after leaving Stowe. The 6th Earl of Coventry instructed him to rebuild the mansion, move the church, make a seeming river with lakes, and create a walled secret garden. Here is the same view of Croom Court, painted some 250 years earlier, in a lovely and important painting by Richard Wilson, which he made in 1758. Wilson, regarded by many as the father of English landscape painting, had recently returned from Rome, where he had worked close to Lorraine, Poussin, and Rosa, among others. Brown's influence was now moving into landscape painting, with English landscape painters like Constable, Gainsborough, and Turner following in Wilson's footsteps. This celebration print shows Burghley House, where Brown worked for over 20 years. The snaking ha-ha in the foreground is a signature feature of a Brownian landscape. It enabled the gardens to appear seamlessly integrated with the park when viewed from the house, but prevented livestock in the park from entering the gardens. Brown made extensive use of curvaceous shapes in his designs for grounds, lakes, and woods, thereby extending the aesthetics of his generation into landscape design. Hogarth, 20 years older than Brown, developed this curvaceous shape into his serpentine line of beauty in his book, The Analysis of Beauty, published in 1753. It is shown here in the triangle at the centre of the cover page. Brown, who suffered from asthma, travelled by horse all over England. The marks on this map show just some of the better known of the 250 locations where Brown worked. The red lines denote sites that I have visited while working on this project. Brown reached the peak of his career on his appointment as gardener to King George III in 1764, whereupon he moved to Wilderness House at Hampton Court Palace, where this blue plaque can be seen. Brown died from a seizure, probably a stroke, aged 67, and was buried in Finstanton, Cambridgeshire. Thank you for watching.